today, but as of now, that's the absolute latest from the Guam Election Commission. 8:29. Let's go ahead and get into work week weather, which is brought to you by Docomo Pacific with Landon Aydlett of the National Weather Service. Landon, thanks for joining us. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you doing, Chris?
Pretty good. Just wondering what kind of week we're in store for, because last week was hot, hot.
Yeah, very hot over the weekend. I definitely got out some sun, but I was interrupted with a lot of phone calls yesterday morning while I was out on the beach, and that was with that stuff passing overhead.
Right.
A lot of speculation whether it was a meteor or part of a SpaceX rocket launch or some kind of debris. There's a lot of conversation going around that it was possibly part of the SpaceX Falcon 9, but that's just speculation at this point. So I don't know if there's been anything conclusive as of yet, but otherwise, the weather was great out there. It was hot and sunny, and we're expecting much the same the week ahead.
So, Landon, you can't
Go
confirm that was Elon Musk shooting off a celebratory rocket because he bought Twitter. The two are not related.
You know, I was looking for the tweet up there in the sky and the tail of the debris, but I did not see that. So, yeah, we'll wait to see what happens from that.
All right, let's get into the weather. Go ahead.
Yeah, this morning, bright and sunny. It's already warming up there with the temperatures up in the low 80s right now. The heat index climbing up to the mid to upper 80s at the moment. I'm going to talk about the heat index shortly, but we're going to flip over to water vapor imagery, and it's really not bad out there. It's just dry. So despite the tropical weather we had in the region last month and the abundant rainfall early in April, we had about 7 inches of rain for the month of April. It's dry out there again. So the dry season is fighting back. And so we like to say, may the 4th be with you coming up on Wednesday, but I'm going to be the first one to say it here. And may the 4th be with you. It is fighting back in force to reign over the region. And so the bluer colors, those are the more moisture in the atmosphere down to our south, where the more deeper tropical moisture exists across Palau, Micronesia, and the Marshall Islands. And we do have a little bit of an upper level trough extending down from Wake Island toward our region. We could see a little bit of a tut cell action later this week that could generate showers and thunderstorms to our east, but it looks like it will probably stall to our east and not really bring much weather for our area. Other than that, not bad out there. So let's go ahead and cue up the slides for the work week weather. And again, it's very dry season out there across the region. So very seasonable for this time of the year for early May. But we're going to see these dry conditions generally continue at least the next month or two. We'll get a little bit of a surge here and there of some wetter weather from time to time, but otherwise the dry season will continue at least through the month of May into early June. And then we'll start seeing the heavier, deeper rainfall events trickle in, and then we're going to be full-blown wet season, or better known as typhoon season, coming up. Drought conditions are minimal across the region, across the Marianas, but also across Micronesia. But we're going to be watching the Kapinga-Maringi situation develop. Climatologically speaking, they're going to be going to a drier pattern probably through the remainder of the year, with the ongoing weak La Nina pattern shifting possibly to an INSO neutral cycle in the months following summer. The next slide, a little bit of a sad note that I want to talk about. We probably have a number of viewers joining us from Oklahoma right now. I came across this on the WFO Norman, Oklahoma Facebook page. 3 of the University of Oklahoma students were storm chasing over the weekend in Kansas, where a number of tornadoes touched down, and very photogenic tornadoes from some storm chasers out there circulating in social media. 3 of these storm chasers from the university were in a tragic car accident returning back to Oklahoma City area. Tragically, all of their lives were lost. So this strikes us closely because one of our newest forecasters is from OU. So I believe he's heard the news, but also we're watching some of our, one of our interns last summer, also from OU. I was actually in conversation with him over the weekend regarding this when I found out, but this is just a sad loss for the meteorological community. So we're just sending a shout out to Nick, Drake, and Gavin, and the faculty and students of the University of Oklahoma, that they're in our thoughts because they do resonate with us. And I actually just spoke to the meteorology students last month in a lecture on Zoom. So our hearts are aching for them, and our thoughts and prayers are with the students and staff of University of Oklahoma through this loss. And their legacy will live on because the work that storm chasers do for the meteorological community is immense, because we need that real-time on the ground information. That's what storm chasers do for us. And so they were living their lives fully in this event. So we're thinking about you, OU. The next slide, definitely the dry conditions continue. Temperatures are climbing up into the 80s, and it's been very dry with just 100th of an inch this month so far, and that continues through the week. We'll probably see a little bit of a bump of moisture this weekend with the trade wind disturbance, but other than that, no significant weather events are expected in the days ahead. You mentioned the heat index and the warm temperatures over the weekend. Yeah, that's the heat index. And so what is the heat index? It's also known as the apparent temperature, what it feels like to the human body, to your skin, relative to the humidity when combined with the temperature. So over the weekend, our maximum temperatures was right about 87, 88 degrees over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But our heat index was upwards of 95 to 96 degrees in that black box. That's typically where we are throughout the year on Guam. Some of the more extreme events will get into the lower 100s, and then we'd have to issue a heat advisory for people to be aware of a prolonged exposure outside. And that'll be kicking in probably in June and July, especially around Liberation. That's some of our hotter times of the year. The next slide, Joint Typhoon Warning Center. We are watching Invest Area 90W, and that is west of Palau near southern Philippines, near Mindanao. The potential for development with this is minimal. We don't expect to see any action with this, but it will bring showers and thunderstorms to areas of southern Philippines. But as far as significant development, that is not expected. And of course, no tropical cyclone threats or potential for the Guam region for at least the next week to 10 days ahead of us. So that is the good news. The scatterometer on the next slide showing the winds across the region, a very boring situation across the region, which in meteorological standards, not a bad thing. Fair weather to continue through the week with fair seas on the next slide. We're looking at combined seas of 4 to 6 feet, climbing maybe about 1 to 2 feet by midweek with a little bit of a north swell coming in from the region with a storm system well to the north coming off of Japan. That's going to keep well to our north, not affect us. Seas and surf will be right around 5 to 7 feet through midweek and a moderate risk of rip current. And for the week ahead, not bad out there. We could probably see a little boost in more showers around midweek, and then a trade wind disturbance will bring more showers by the weekend. But for the week ahead, beautiful week ahead. So enjoy it. Wear your sunscreen if you're outside, and the temperatures will be holding steady. It'll be more steady than most relationships. So get out there, have a great week, and make the most of it.
Oh, sorry. Landon, thanks. So when you say it's going to be a beautiful week, just read that it's going to be hot.
Yeah, there you go. I lost my sound from you all, but I hear you now.
We did have a comment. Bruce Pollock comments in, Hafaday from Oklahoma. Thank you, Landon, for your touching tribute concerning those OU students. Your kind words help the students who are grieving at this time.
Yep, and it's great to see you, Bruce. Bruce was our summer intern last year here on Guam, so he did a phenomenal job with working with our office last summer, and we enjoy the partnership we have with the students at the University of Oklahoma.
Well, your family's our family, and so our condolences as well are going out to the students of OU and their families. Landon, thank you for work week weather this morning, my friend.
Absolutely. See y'all next week.
Right on. There you go. Landon Aydlett of the National Weather Service. It's brought to you by Docomo Pacific. They're here to help with the Affordable Connectivity program. It helps you connect to things that matter most with $30 off select internet plans. Head over to Docomo Pacific's Tamuning HQ to see if you qualify. Qualifying households can get a free router with an additional $45 off for a limited time only. Visit Docomo Pacific and ask about ACP today. Docomo Pacific, better together. Good morning on you guys. We're coming back with, remember, every Monday we do a segment with the Office of the Governor of the CNMI.